What's up, homies? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm really going to be trying to get you to ask yourself the questions of what do you want in your life and what would you really honestly do to get the life that you want. This isn't about materialistic things. This isn't about getting millions of dollars or having a nice house and having everything that you've ever wanted, because you could want anything and that's okay. Everyone should want different things. Everyone should not be exactly the same and aspire for the same things. But the life that you really want, I'm going to be asking you questions so that you can really assess how much do I really want it? Like, what would I really do for it? So let's get right into it. So this world is not perfect, and neither are you. But what would you do for another person to give them the world, no matter how perfect it is? No matter how ideal the situation or the life is, what would you do to give somebody the world, give somebody the life that they've always wanted? What would you do to give that to someone else? And would you do those same things to give that to yourself? If you were sitting back seat, you have no control over the steering wheel, someone else is driving in the front seat. Someone else is driving this vehicle. This vehicle is going to take you to the destination, which is the end of your life or where your destiny is. So your future is in the hands of another person that is sitting in the driver's seat. You are passenger, or you're not even passenger. You are in the back seat of this car, and they're making all the decisions, all the turns. If you're sitting in the back seat of this car with no ability to make the decisions, what would you do and what would you say to the person in the front of this car that is driving in order to get them to go where you want to be, where you need to be, where your dream is? What would you say to them? You would yell, you would scream at them to take the right turns, to make the right decisions. Every little tiny decision counts. Every single decision you make is a turn that is navigating you towards the end of your life or where you end up. And regardless of us all ending in the grave, everyone wants something out of their life. But what would you do and what would you say to that driver that is driving this vehicle that is going to make you end up wherever you end up? Potentially your dream or potentially the trash. What would you say to them to get them to listen to you so that they can drive you to the destination that you've always wanted to be? That person is yourself right now. You are in the driver's seat. That person that is sitting in the back that desperately wants you to listen and wants you to make all the right turns and decisions, that person is you in the future. The future you has no ability to change the past, but the future you is probably desperately attempting to get and hoping that the past you is making the right decisions and making the right turns. That way you can achieve this ideal life that you've always wanted. And regardless of what that goal is or where this life is, regardless of if it's just having a beautiful family and children, whether it's building your own house or building your own company or whatever, what would you yell and scream at yourself for every single decision that you are potentially making right now in order to get to that dream destination? You would do anything. You would give anything for it. And you need to really ask yourself the question, what would I say to myself right now to get to where I really want to be? Am I at where I want to be? And if I'm not, what am I willing to say to myself in order to get myself there? Am I really willing to yell and scream and beg this person, this driver, to get me where I want to be? Or am I just going to hope that they feel like it and hope that they make the right decisions? And that's something you really got to ask yourself, because unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of times you don't feel like doing anything. It's just life, you know? Like sometimes you're going to be low on energy. You're going to have a lot of life circumstances. But you have to realize that regardless of all the life circumstances, regardless of anything anyone has ever told you, you are in control. You are in control. It's not just about circumstance. Circumstance plays a major factor in the starting of this destination, the starting point, and technically that can have an outcome on where you end up inevitably, but you need to start focusing on the things that you can control. You are in that driver's seat, whether you're aware of it or not. You are making all these little decisions that are driving you towards the destination that you have always wanted. That might be something random or somewhere that you never wanted to be. And that's all up to you. So I just want to say these things in an encouraging way to get you to realize that that person in the backseat, that could be the little kid version of you that has this dream and aspiration that you've always wanted and that you still want. Or whether it's the future you looking back on yourself, that person is still you. That person is deep within you. And you are able to harness that energy right now and be able to activate it and use it so that you can make all the right turns. You know, it's not always going to be all the right turns. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but it's about seriously making an attempt to drive in the right direction so that you end up where you really want to be. And again, it's not being at the perfect destination. It's about being there the whole time, like being on your way there. It's not even about just the destination. You know, it can be important, like where you end up in life, like that can be very important and that's good. But you also have to realize that part of the experience is the drive on the way there as well. So it's not just about how many right turns can you make to get to the right place, but it's also, are you able to enjoy yourself along the way, making all these turns? What can you see? What are the beautiful things outside? Because obviously the more negative decisions you make, the more negative things you're going to experience. So making those right turns, the correct turns, is going to allow you to be able to have just an overall more positive and enjoying and fulfilling life and experience, because you were just experiencing a net positive amount of things. But I say all that to say, what are you willing to do to give yourself the world, or give those around you the world that they've always wanted? And that's all. Y'all have a great day.